Good afternoon, sir. It's my pleasure, meeting you today. I feel very excited. Um, I think I would have to start with this question. The question is, so can you please just tell us about your, experience? You've been performing multiple roles. You're an actor. You're a comic, and then beyond that, you are a teacher. Those who impart, you impart knowledge, the knowledge of the profession into those coming behind. So, what kind of challenges do you think these multiple roles, pose for you?
Well, good afternoon too. Nice
Thank you.
meeting you,
Yeah,
and I'm very happy to hear that you are my senior in Ife. Great Ife.
great effect.
All right. Okay. Let me start by saying that the more time you have, the more time you lose or you waste. Okay. So I want to say that the challenges that I have there is that I do not have talent at all because number one, I had a good um, time management skill. Uh, of course, we learned that from Ife.
Yes.
So, as a teacher, as an actor, as a family man, everything has its time. I know that during the week, I am in the classroom. In the weekend or during the holiday, I am on location, and then almost every day in the night, I'm with the family. But the only thing that I can say is that I cannot do everything like that without a little denial of social, interactions, going to their parlor, and all that. So, because I know that when the little time I have to rest, I spend that time with my family. And when I'm in the class, I'm in the class. So, one of the factors that made the time management easy for me is the fact that in Nigeria, a lot of producers and directors, they know that I'm a civil servant and that I'm a teacher. So they normally adjust their program to suit my weekend or during the holidays time for shooting for me. Alright. Now, another thing is that I don't drink, I don't follow women, I don't, So those little time that I saved there is a lot for me. So I can use that time to go to locations, to go and shoot, to perform ambassadorial activities here and there. I am always on the road, actually. Apart from the challenges of risk, of accidents, of attack, of being kidnapped. In Nigeria, we have all those things. Apart from those little challenges, I think everything works together. And to the glory of God, I have a very good home base. The best thing that can happen to any man is for him to marry a woman who shares his vision. I am very lucky to have a woman who shares my vision. So when I'm not at home, I don't it's not a challenge for me because I know that the woman in the house is taking very good care of the house. So when I come in and I come to rest, I have come to rest at home. I play with my children, I play with them, and most of the time we watch Saka, together in the sitting room. So it's really a good thing for me. But I must say that initially it wasn't really is easy for me, because most of my directors, most of my producer, they were not aware of my situation as a teacher, and that I should not go out of the school, during the lecturing time. But as time goes on, they understood it, and then they, make sure that the shooting schedule and whatever was placed during the holiday or during the weekend. Very, very few, are the occasions that I leave the school, especially when I don't have lectures. I also go out to go and do shoot. So the only time that I have is for my family. I spend my time with my family. We go and rest. Sometimes we go out and we go and relax somewhere during weekends and all that.
That's quite interesting. Now, I was kind of wondering. Yes, I mean, you given your status, given your status as a well-known comic in Nigeria, and then you back in the classroom. So, what are the likely? I mean, what are the reactions of your students?
Yes. Well, the first time is the first time a student comes to the department, he sees a little excitement. This is the person that I say. Aside from that, there is training. There's training for all of us in the theater, that one should be able to live the role that is playing. Hafeez Oyetoro is different from Saka. It's also different from the teacher. So when Hafeez is in the class, he's a teacher, and he behaves and talks like a teacher. And so once in a while, I bring in a little Saka for the lecture to be interesting and all that, but they know that this is a teacher. The student knows that, okay, this is a teacher. I had very good set of teachers in the university who actually taught us how to differentiate your personal role, your personal person, from the roles that one is playing. So although some of the students, when they see me first, they excited, but 1, 2, 3 times they get used to me as a teacher. Once we go on stage too, they say, okay, this is Saka, because to the glory of God, and with the training that I received, I am able to differentiate different character at every point in time. So when I enter the class, the first few minutes we play, and then we start the lecture, and they keep quiet, and the lecture goes on. So even in the house, my children knows that this is daddy. What we are watching on screen is Saka. So like I told you, we normally sit down and watch Saka together. They know the difference between daddy and Saka. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So you watch the program with the children.
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
kind of wondering. So
Yes.
how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels very interesting. They are my first audience and critical audience for me, because when I stay with them, I won't say anything. They will be talking. They will be, daddy, why did you do this? Daddy, why is that I would have done? I know that, once I'm watching with them, once in a while, not every time, but once there's a new program that I do, I normally sit down with them to listen to their comments.
That's interesting.
Unfortunately, incidentally, My wife is from science. My wife is a mathematics graduate.
Graduate, yes.
When we first got married, it was a little dicey because I'm the artist and all that. So, but we have a longer period to cut. I know in those cutting periods, she understood me. She knows that this guy is an artist. Sometimes I play act. I will just go there to his house. I say, oh, hello. I have a rehearsal now. But I just want to say hello, and I said within few minutes I will leave, even if I don't have rehearsal. So I was testing to know whether she would like it or not, but she liked it. In fact, sometimes when I got to her house and 1, 2, 3, almost 1 hour one day, he was shocked. I hope you do not have rehearsal. I hope it's not because of me that I say, no, I just want to use today for you. So during our cutting period, she knows that I am an artist and I may not be available. So when we got married, she took charge and everything was just going on very well. So in the process, she got to know the artist, the costume, the word, all this, and then when she criticized the film, I take it serious because she does a lot of criticism on my work, and when we want to enjoy the thing, we enjoy it, but when we want to look for criticism, we criticize together. But it's also an avenue for me to improve on my act, and first and foremost, I want to act for myself, I want to act for my family, I want to act for a larger audience, and it's okay for me.
Yeah, that's very. Again, you kept referring to the training you had while you were in the university.
Yes.
So, can you tell me what the training at Ife? You attended Great Ife.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious. You must have had a very professional training. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Let me start. I'm very sure you know Chuck Mike.
Yes,
very well.
He was my teacher.
Okay, now he was my teacher too. Now the first day I got to Ife, they organized an audition. So when I got to the audition, I fumbled. Pata. Now that was as a result of my background. I didn't live with my father, my mother. They were at Adegbola, a village in Isen. I will get there later.
Yeah.
But my uncle that I was living with was strict. In fact, the word is wicked. Every day she beat me, a lot. So I was afraid. I got to myself. I had no freedom of talking and everything. So that was what I took to Ife. So when I got to the audition, I didn't expect that I was to act, and I thought she should just play. So Tokmek discovered me. He said, okay, I know that you have talent, but I'm going to be your teacher. You will do it well. He now went to buy a recorder for me, immediate. He recorded all the lines of the play and he gave it to me. He said, go and listen to it and then you come and play it back for me. Then when he discovered that I had some social defects, he sent me to University of Ibadan for 4 years in Ife. I was going to University of Ibadan every weekend to go and see Mrs. Ajayi. Mrs. Ajayi was a voice therapist at University of Ibadan. We do not have voice therapists in Ife. So I was always going to. The woman took me like his son, and I always spent at least 6 hours there. So after that, he always give me job. Chokmak used to do private job.
Yes.
You call me, you take me to Ibadan, Lagos and all that. He was so conscious about me. At a point in time, I started to speak well. I started to interact, better with people because I was going through the speech therapy. It was very good for me, and so other lecturers in the department, they taught me the act of acting, act of directing, all those things that we do. But I moved towards practical than the theories. At a point in time, when I got to 200 level, we formed a comedy group, and then we used to go about, presenting plays, presenting skits, variety shows to them. So before I left Ife, I was thoroughly trained. The training about how to master lines, how to deliver your lines, how to master your mind, how to control your mind, how to train your mind. All these things are those things that Dr. Mike taught me. I will never forget that man in my life. I will never forget him. He's a trainer. Because he told me that, Hafeez, you know that we cannot teach acting. We can only train an actor. He said, I see that you are an actor. I will train you. And I went for directing too. I did directing. I did playwriting and all that. There's hardly anything in the theater that I cannot do. But people know me for the comic role and all that. I can direct, I can write, I cannot dance. I can only do what we have to dance. But then the training in Ife is good. How to be disciplined, how to be professional, all those things were there. And then the teachers, they were doing it as if to say their life depends on the training of their students. So the training then was a little more interesting. There was no phone. So it also give us more concentration on what we are on. Unlike this day that the phone is always everywhere, so that a lot of attention was diverted into the phone and all that. But this time around, it was not like that. All my teachers, late Dr. Oluwakomolafe, Mr. Uji, Mr. Ukwatai, all those, they really, and then the acting company, Professor Kola Oyewo, Uncle Fatomilola, all those people, Uncle, the man is dead now, so rest in peace. A lot of them are like that in fact, at a point, it's like they noticed me, and all of them they were after me. So it was, I felt so comfortable with them, and I want to thank God that the training actually worked for me.
That's very wonderful. I mean, yes, I was a product of Ife.
Yeah.
I know what those people can do. Incidentally, Chuck Mike, Professor Chuck Mike, We met in the U.S.
Okay. Okay.
When I was in Virginia,
Mm.
and a couple of times, we interacted, and then we met. We met in, in the U.S., and then we did a lot together.
Yeah. Wow.
So yes, I know what he can do.
Yeah.
I know he's a
It's
thorough
thorough.
professional.
Yes.
So it's gladdening that to see that what he did then, is still. So how do you put this into practice? I mean, in terms of relating to your students,
Okay.
the kind of training you had.
Yes.
Here.
Well, we have courses in the department. Most of the courses that I do in the department are basically practicals. I interact with my students, one-on-one. Apart from general lecturing, that was what Mr. Mike, Professor Mike, used to do. After the rehearsal, he will call me and talk to me and give me a lot of assignments, and in fact, for the first time when he put me in a major departmental play. So, in fact, Raising in the Sun,
yes.
I was one of the Oyinbos there. Although he had a very good, real, proper Oyinbo woman that was playing the role. He just put me there, and he allowed me to also, share the role. We play together, and so my students know that time is very important. That was why I feel so bad about it. Time is very important. Rehearsal is very important. Exercises in the department, during the rehearsal, is very important. And then find time to master your lines so that you will be able to deliver, not reciting your lines. All those little things are the ones that we are teaching the students, and to the glory of God, some of them are very good, and not all of them can be actors. Some that are dancers, they are there. Some that are writers, they are there. And then we just, from beginning, we notice, and then we teach each and every one of them via what they are interested in. And that is very important in education. Not that you will force what the student is not interested in. Although it's a general thing, they have to do all the courses.
Yes.
But you identify some students with certain area of specialization, and then you get them involved in those special areas. Although they will do every other thing, but you get them more involved in those special area, so that when they come out, they are specialists in at least one or two areas of productions.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now it's kind of interesting. I mean, talking about your students, especially in the current, during the current period. In our days, theater was the main thing. Was a big deal.
Yeah.
We're trained. You were trained to, in different aspects, but you found your strengths in acting, which you did then, and then you go out to excel in it. So I'm kind of wondering, given what is happening in contemporary society, film, Nollywood, a very big one, and then theater. So, do you have some of your students? Are they more interested in film than the theater?
Let me tell you, it is very difficult to see students who are interested in the theater now. Let me tell you this. Now, during the Alarejo traditional theater, they will go from one village to another. That is the beginning of the theater. At a point, celluloid came, but the financial and technical issue, was not really easy for then. VHS came,
Yes.
and then VHS was for everybody. Arumire, all those people started doing this and all that. But at a point in time, the film started getting ground. To have theater live show now is very, very difficult. Number one, there's no money there. Number two, a lot of people are not really interested in theater, although they are okay. Let's say they are interested, but the socio-economic issue of the country in Nigeria today is not making people. It's not easy to drive to National Theatre and stay there when you don't know whether somebody will carry your car away and all that. Now you can sit down in your house and put on and watch anything you want to watch on TV. That's all the stream and Netflix, Prime Time, and DSTV, all those, they are there. So it is not easy, number one, to get people to come and watch theater. So, and then the wahala there is too much. Most of our Nollywood actors are not trained actors. They are cinema actors. Most of them cannot, if you remove them from the film and then take them to theater, it might take a lot of time for them to do. Most of them do not even have time to do rehearsal. At least minimum of 4 weeks to rehearsal, for a play. It's a long time. But an actor will go and do film few days, go for another area and all that. But the thing is this: stand-up comedy is coming. In fact, it's arrived. It has arrived in Nigeria now. That one is not replacing. It's not really replacing the theater, but it's another genre of live entertainment. So people will go for that, and then theater is dying, but it's also coming up gradually, via stand-up comedy, because the stand-up comedy now, they are now trying to inject drama skits, drama into it. So at a point in time now, maybe the theater will be the classic one. So that you go, if you really want to go for the theater, you go and pay money. But for now, there's no money there and too much wahala. But I enjoy theater more than film, because most of the time the film does not, it doesn't, you don't feel professional fulfilled, except that the money is more there. You go there, they give you down. Yeah. But in theater, maybe you pay almost 1 hour, one month, and then you performance of another 4 days.
Yes.
You get that is why most students are not really interested in the theater. But the theater is still there. It's just that because of the situations surrounding the theater, people are not really interested in it.
So the professional training, because and I agree with you totally that, there's a difference, between acting on the stage
and
acting on film.
Yes.
Now, so do you, include those kind of things in your curriculum as you're teaching the students, knowing that they might end up,
of course,
in the film?
Of course, the curriculum has started to be dynamic now. Let me tell you something. When we were in Ife, we were not trained to make money out of the theater.
Yes.
We were taught what Aristotle said, what and all that. You had to be good doctor.
Yeah.
But the money aspect of it, they didn't teach us.
Yes.
It was when I got out And together with my experience with Professor Chuck Mike, that's why I know that okay, oh, we have to. They did teach us how to write proposal, how to defend proposal, how to defend your budget, how to project and all this. They didn't teach us. They just taught us the act of acting, the act of playwriting, the act of how to survive outside. That was why most of us, when we finish, some of us went to teaching, went to advertisement, went to. It's very few of us that still remain in the theatre. But now everybody is a theatre person now. Once you finish, you go. In fact, with the coming of phone in Nigeria, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everything, it's now easy for anybody to become a star. You can just sit down in your house and do something on your own, and then repeatedly you become a star, a live star. Unlike that period when it's very difficult to now. The situation now is that people have access to stardom through a lot of ways. So that's not it's not too much. It's not, you don't have to work hard to become a star this time around. You don't need it. Just continue to do something online, and then people identify you, then become a celebrity. So, but all those training is being imbibed on our students here, both the theatre. That's every semester we have courses that has practical, total practical from rehearsal to performance. We have all those. In fact, we just finished Christmas play, recently, and then when we resume, we divide our students into groups. We give them play to produce and act it out. We mark them and all that. So the theatre in the school, in the educational theatre, is going on smoothly well. But when they go out, the economic something may not allow them to stay there. But some of them, we have one of our students here who has a troupe who is going about doing the theatre thing. So, but it's very, very minimal. Very minimal.
Again, that's really wonderful. At least being aware of these different differences will help them.
We help them, yeah.
When
there's a difference between film and stage production. But no matter what, anybody that goes through theatre is good in every other person, in any other production at all, whether film or radio or television. On stage you don't have technical help. You don't have camera to talk about whatever is here. You have to do it on your own. Doing it from beginning to the end on your own is what the theatre is about. But on film, there's microphone, there's camera, there's idiot cards. There's so much relaxation in the film that but we made them to realize it. If you are good here, you will be good in film. And we also have special areas in the film productions and productions. We have stage productions, and we have radio productions. Our curriculum is so dynamic that every student will go for anyone that they like.
So thank you. So there's something interesting in what just again, the power of the TV and the different channels where you can do, and then especially how individuals, in terms of they can now specialize, they can and I think one of the fallout of that is skit making.
Yes.
And I think Nigeria is doing so
Great.
well
So well. So
in this field.
yes, yes.
Now, so what are your thoughts on skit making? I mean, do you in addition to acting and all this, have you involved in any? Have you been involved in any of this skit making? And what do you think about skit making and in Nigeria? And what kind of effect
Yes.
does it have on our culture?
Okay.
I'm particularly interested in that.
Now, let me say that
Yeah.
skit is also a play. It's a play,
Yeah.
but it is an abridged
Yeah.
form of a full play.
Yes.
Okay. Now, a skit is a medium.
Yeah.
It's a medium of entertainment. It's a medium of enlightenment. It's a medium of education. It's a medium of propaganda.
Yeah.
You know, when Nigeria is a very wonderful country. What is happening in Nigeria now? Most countries in the world cannot experience it and survive it. But anything that happens in Nigeria, we turn it to skits. Number one, the skit is a social comment on our activities, on our environment, political, social, cultural issues. When we want to talk about domestic violence, we turn it to skits.
Yes.
We want to talk about economic problem, we turn it to skits. A lot of things are happening, and it is because the government of Nigeria is not doing well. The government is not getting it. The system is so uncharted. So the system is so selfish, and so everybody is trying to find a way out. One, in the process of trying to find a way out, that was when the skit came out. And the skit is an expression of the feeling of the people. The comedian will come and do comedies on various political issues and all that. The skit makers will also come and do this. It's an expression of the situation of the country. Now, every society has it. A society that is good, that the system works, the skit will reflect it. A society that the system does not work, the skit will express it. So it is a form of expression, a medium through which people express their feelings. That this is the best way, this is not the best way, and all that. So, for instance, when you watch Mr. Macaroni's skits,
Yeah.
it takes theme. Each of the skit has its own theme. The family theme, the economic theme, and all that. So these are the things that the skits mean. So the effect of the skit now is this: because we turn everything to comedy, a lot of people are relieved. So it's one of the psychological relief in Nigeria. Maybe if not because of this skit, maybe Nigeria would have been divided now. But we have skits all over the place. So it creates psychological relief for the people. When you watch what is happening, you on your phone, you see the skit, you feel relaxed. It creates entertainment for them. People do not need to go to various places to go and watch things again, because our guys are providing entertainment for us online, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, and everything. So now some of the skit makers they have become a voice to be reckoned with now. Once something is happening at the corridor of power, and some of them, like Alibaba, Macaroni, and all that, they put it in skits and throw it out, a caution will be taken. A caution will be taken. It is a skit is a form of announcement. If we don't have light in my area and I put it into skits and we put it on Kini, you will see that there will be a reaction. So it is also there to provide information on our environment, on kidnapping, on ritual killings and all this. So these skits are a form of education to our people, and that effect is the one that is, making the Nigerian to go on now. Otherwise, with the kind of tension in the country, with the kind of critical situation that we are in the country, without all those skills and all this, maybe Nigeria will have been divided now. But thank God, the comedians are there, the skit makers are there, and they are providing the entertainment. They are making everything. Like Yoruba will say, ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ju ẹkún lọ, ẹ̀rín la fi ń rín. As a matter of fact, comedy is the higher form of tragedy for me. Because once you see something very tense, you just reduce it into comedy. People laugh about it, but that thing is still there, and people know that it is there. So a lot of things happen. In comedy. I like comedy because comedy is realistic, unlike tragedy. Tragedy is emotional. Life, like a scholar said, life is tragedy to those who feel, but it's comedy to those who think. All right, somebody died, it's okay, life continues. But that is what the comedy says. All right, everything happened. The rainfall, we have inflations, we have wars, we have, but something is there that is not waiting for anybody. Time, TikTok is not waiting for anybody. No matter what happens, no matter what happens to you, the time is going, and you have your own time to live. So if you now dwell on one particular incident that happened to you, time is going. So comedy says, okay, it happens. Let's move on. So it's realistic. That is the reality of life. The moment we are able to realize the reality of our life, life continues, and now it's better for us. So the effect now is that it makes people go, it keep them going. When they are tense, when they see that, they laugh. Laughter is therapeutic. It's a major therapeutic in Nigeria that is keeping our people moving, and people can only laugh when they see good comedy. That's it.
Yes, but there's a question. I mean, I agree that that those doing those things are doing wonderful things.
Yes.
But given the fact that, again, most of the skits, like you said, they expose the problems, they laugh at this serious situation in order to get relieved, and they have become a very powerful force in Nigeria. But do you think they are doing enough in terms of suggesting corrective measures? For instance, Mr. Macaroni's skits are very wonderful.
Yes.
They expose a lot.
Yes.
And I think the intention behind it is to expose these things to ridicule so that it can be corrected.
Yes.
But then again, a lot of people would just accept it as just the reality without thinking about the way forward.
That's one major issue now. And I want to tell you that it is a developmental issues. It will develop. It will develop to a point where we will get to solution. We have a lot of problems now. The problems is what we are expressing now. Then at a point we will be suggesting solutions. Again, it's true. In 10 years ago, we didn't have something like this. 10 years ago, our movie industry is not like this. It is just developing. It's developing. By the time we get to a particular point, we will have expressed all the problems finished. Then we now go to solution. I know that most of the skits, they just express problems. They never suggest solutions. But I want to believe that because it is just developing, at a point we will have Skit Makers Association of Nigeria. Later we will have it. We will have comedy. We have, I am working, my PhD is on Alibaba stand-up comedy in Nigeria. How Alibaba started it and all this and all that. I just discovered that it's a period. Every period has its own focus and its own theme. Okay, so let's just say that this period is a period when the theme of the problems is ongoing now. I am very sure there will be a time when our skit makers will go back and now begin to suggest solutions to our problems. Now, the skit making is also a process. It is just developing now. I am very sure at a point it will develop, and then we will get a official format of skit making. That when you create a skit, you must create solution to the problem raised in the skit. I agree that most of them are just, but I believe that because it is a developing, situation, there will be a time that solution will be suggested in skits. With this project too, now, our skit maker, they need to be educated. Most of them are not theater trained people.
Yes.
And because our industry is a liberal industry where anybody can come in, anybody can go out, just anybody. It is very difficult to regulate because you cannot regulate somebody who has his phone and sit down in his bedroom and do something and pick it out. Okay, people who are not really trained, but they have the talent, the raw talent. Then they express the raw talent. So if we have professional script writers, the script writer will write script that we suggest, that we expose the problem and suggest solution to it. But these people they just want to make fun of the situation and then get out of it. Okay, so now, because of liberality of the nature of our industry, it's become very difficult to regulate and to say this is what you should do, this is what you should do. I think the professionals, a lot of work is going on now, that professional bodies will come up. Although we have professional bodies, we have NANTAB, we have ANTP, we have the Golden Ambassador, the Golden Movie Ambassador of Nigeria, we have guild of actors, guild of dancers and all that. We have all this, but we have not really come together as one, and make statement. Like I told you, it is just developing. At a point in time, we will get to a very developed, state that all these things will be, will be addressed.
Yes. I actually believe that the fact that they are not, you know, the liberality is good for Nigeria. It's good for the culture. The fact that nobody is, policing people creativity. As you know,
the freedom of creativity is here.
It's not something you can bottle up. But then the question is that, again, a lot of these kids, women becomes the butt of jokes. And there is a suggestion in some of them that, there's some of them that are, in a way suggest certain ways of dealing with women. You just spoke glowingly about your wife, and I've read a lot of your interviews where the respect, the very good job this beautiful woman performs in your life, the stability she brought to your life. You've spoke glowingly about that. These are things that are not common. These are things that people don't acknowledge. And in some of these are movies too, again in skits especially, these are things that are not evident.
It is like I told you. It's just starting. It's just sorry, let me my driver.